I have always been a massive fan of Spider-Man. Ever since I watched the animated series back in the early 2000s, I felt an attachment to the character. He truly is the most relatable, everyday superhero, and his appeal has been felt worldwide by people who easily connect with him. Add an amazing costume, spectacular villains, astonishing side characters, and ultimate storylines that stand the test of time, and it's easy to see why this character is Marvel's poster boy.
When I was a kid, I was Spider-Man obsessed. I watched all of the Sam Raimi movies, bought a plethora of toys, forced my parents to buy me comic books every week at my local Asda, and you guessed it, played a ton of Spider-Man video games. But there was always one that I kept coming back to time and time again, and that one was the PS1 game.
Spider-Man PS1, or Spider-Man 2000 as some people call it, is one of my favourite games of all time. Developed by original Tony Hawk developers Neversoft, this is a Spider-Man game to end all Spider-Man games. People always like to say that Spider-Man 2, the movie game, not the new one,
You're gonna have to fight.
or Web of Shadows, or the Insomniac games are the pinnacle of Spidey video games. And they just don't know how wrong they are. This game has everything you could ever want from a Spider-Man experience. It's got charm, humour, a kick-ass soundtrack, thrills and chills, twists and turns, more supervillains that you can shake a web at, and of course, non-stop web-slinging, wall-crawling action.
I would play this game for non-stop hours on end. Even when I didn't have a memory card, I would try and get through the entire thing in one sitting. I was that in love with it. In fact, hang on one second. Be right back. Yeah, I've still got the physical copy. It comes with the manual and everything, like, look. Manual and the disc. Like, I've had this for over 20 years.
Ever since starting this channel, I've wanted to talk about this game, and so in this video, we're going to go over it from start to finish. We'll be talking about the story, gameplay, characters, some interesting cut content, and explain why this is the best Spider-Man game ever made. And the first reason literally happens as soon as you boot up the game. But the treats don't stop there. We then get the godly main menu theme. After we get fired up with that tune, it's time to start the game. Right away we get a classic PS1 FMV setting up the game's story, aptly called The Exposition. You get introduced to a few key characters in the story such as Spider-Man, of course, Dr. Octopus, who is apparently reformed and no longer a villain, and Eddie Brock. Doc Ock is showing off some technology that he's made when Spider-Man suddenly appears on stage and steals Ock's device. Tom Hardy is also in the crowd snapping up some pictures of the event. In the commotion, he bumps into Peter Parker and has his camera broken by the fake Spider-Man.
My camera! No!
See you, chump.
With Brock's livelihood destroyed once again by Spider-Man, he gets visited by the ghost of J.K. Simmons.
Get the fuck out of my sight before I demolish you.
And transforms into the best character in the entire game, Venom.
Venom in this game can best be described as a goofy menace, which, to be fair, now I think about it, sums up his character perfectly.
He is constantly pushing Spider-Man and the player to their limits, and can appear when you're least expecting it.
You better stop!
But at the same time, he is just so damn funny and charming, with a lot of personality to boot. All of the game's best lines are from this guy, and was one of the main reasons why I was so excited to play this game again. It's funny how this blocky goofball is a lot more scary and memorable than Insomniac's big, muscly, bland piece of nothing. But we're getting off topic. Venom vows revenge on Spider-Man for hurting Brock, and then we get a glimpse of our main villains. Gee, I wonder who these absolutely not at all obvious silhouettes could belong to. I'm just so stumped. In an act of pure evil, they release a deadly fog onto New York. God, this game really was ahead of its time.
And now here's a section that I like to call Gamer-Pinion's Fun Development Fact Corner. It's a working title, we'll think of something better.
Due to the PS1's hardware limitations, the developers couldn't include the city streets. So, to counter this, they implemented the fog into the game to explain why Spider-Man forgets to swing as soon as he touches it. Overall, the intro nicely sets up a lot of key things that'll happen in the game later. It's a good setup and easy to understand. Good job, Neversoft. You get 9 web cartridges out of 10. We finally get to the gameplay, but first, a quick word from our Lord and Saviour.
Welcome, true believers and newcomers alike. Spider-Man co-creator Stan Lee here. Once again, we find our hero Peter Parker, better known around the world as the Amazing Spider-Man, in a heap of trouble. But this is just the beginning, Spidey fans. So get ready for a true superhero action thriller, packed to the brim with thrills and chills, twists and turns, more supervillains than you can shake a web at, and of course, non-stop web-slinging, wall-crawling action.
Perfection.
Anyways, let's talk gameplay. Spider-Man can pretty much do everything you'd expect him to. Punch, kick, jump, web swing, only twice though, that's all they could afford, wall crawl, and spin a web any size. Whilst we're on the topic of webs, you have a lot of variation when it comes to web attacks. Holding triangle will shoot a stream of web out at enemies, causing them to be ensnared within the sticky substance and eventually phase out of existence. But by pressing triangle and any of the D-pad buttons, you can use unique web attacks. Each one has its own benefits and can be useful when you're stuck in a fight. For example, if you find yourself crowded by enemies, you can use the web dome to give yourself some breathing room and then finish them off with your sticky web balls. Or if you need to deal some more damage on a spongy enemy, use your web gloves for twice the punching power. The only one I'll say that I didn't really like was the web yank. You have to press down on the D-pad and triangle to use this, and when it works, it's decent. Especially against the annoying projectile enemies, which we will definitely be talking about later. However, 9 times out of 10 for me, it just meant that Spider-Man turned around and was no longer facing the enemies. You'd have to wait for the game to target the right enemy and try it again, but it happens again and again, and you just end up in a never-ending cycle of pain. Then we've got the wonky controls. Spider-Man's movement uses tank controls. Pressing up moves you forward, down moves you backwards, and right and left controls your direction. It's not the best movement, and I find it only works in a few games. This is not one of them. Spider-Man's movements fluctuates between feeling too stiff or extremely finicky. Instead of Spider-Man stopping what he's doing and turning the way you want him to go, he instead sets off running with the camera behind struggling to keep up. This isn't so bad in big open areas like the city, but when you're in closed spaces or on top of a moving train, which, oh boy, is definitely not the worst level in the game, it's not a great experience. The best thing for you to do is pull a 180 by pressing down on the D-pad. It's the fastest and quickest way, but even this doesn't always work, thanks to the goddamn camera. I absolutely hate this camera. That's it. I just hate it. Moving on. Heading back to the game, we make our way over to the bank, watch these police helicopters get blown up, and don't even try and save them. Wow, nice going, Mr. Superhero. Take out a few guards patrolling the roof, and make our way inside. Before the next level starts, we get asked if we want to save, and in classic PS1 charm, we have to pick a name. Well, my inner child is longing for some toilet humour, so we're going to call ourselves Shithead. Okay then, I guess we'll go for Donut. Jeez, you could have just asked, Spider-Man. Inside the bank, we take out more bad guys, save a few hostages, and stop the thugs from blowing up the building.
Honestly, not a couple of bad tutorial levels. So far so good. But it's here where the fun really begins.
The next level sees us getting a call from everyone's favourite Spider-Man villain, J. Jonah Jameson. Jameson tells us he's under attack from Scorpion, and we swing away to save him. In this level, we have to hurry to the Daily Bugle before Scorpion reaches Jameson and endgames him. What I like about this level is that instead of there being a timer counting down, you've got this bar that shows Scorpion slowly creeping towards Jameson. And when Scorpion reaches him... Although this begs the question, why is it taking Scorpion so long to get to Jameson? In the previous cutscene, he was feet away from him. Has his arthritis kicked in with every step or something? After a while, we reach the Daily Bugle, burst in through the window and land on the sofa, and have our first boss fight. Scorpion's fight is pretty good. His attention will be on Jameson all throughout, only occasionally attacking you if you become a nuisance to him. So not only do you have to fight Scorpion, but you also have to watch Jameson's health at the same time. It's an interesting idea, but Scorpion takes a while to register exactly where Jameson is. So whilst he's searching for Jameson, you're free to attack him, and when you do, his attention will be turned to you until you're incapacitated. There is quite a large window for you to get your attacks in, and I think that kind of ruins the tension of this fight a little bit. Overall, I think Scorpion deserves a B tier for his boss fight. After we defeat Scorpion, Jameson as usual tells us to fuck off and calls the cops on us. We dip out the window and escape the cops before bumping into Daredevil. Yeah, Daredevil's here, and he's not the only cameo in the game. Quite a number of Marvel characters appear throughout. You've also got the Human Torch, the Punisher, Captain America, Namor in the background of one level, and Black Cat, who is what the fuck happened to her face? Looks like melted plastic, ew.
This, alongside Marvel Ultimate Alliance, was my first introduction to the wider Marvel universe and its ever-expanding roster of heroes. Thanks, game.
Spider-Man recaps the plot so far to Daredevil, and he swings away just in time, as the cops call in their kill streak and an attack chopper appears behind us. The next couple of levels involve us running away from the chopper and its missiles? Jesus, how important was this stolen tech? Did it give the city clean water or something? After running away from the chopper for what feels like a lifetime, it hits a tower and goes to land, with Spider-Man just watching again. I thought you were a superhero, my guy. Black Cat ambushes us and tells us that the Rhino is attacking a nearby research facility, whilst Venom is talking shit to us in Times Square. We decide to tackle these one at a time and go and see what Venom has to say first.
Oh, Big Apple, it's Venom here, and I'm going to talk to you about Spider-Man. Did you know that Spider-Man, Peter Parker, he has no bitches whatsoever? None whatsoever. He's a little beta bitch. He needs to be a Sigma like me. Fucking hell.
Venom tells us he's kidnapped Mary Jane and challenges us to rescue her. Black Cat offers to go and tackle Rhino by herself, but we refuse and go and help her take him down. And it's a good thing we did too, because she gets absolutely bodied before the fight even starts. With Black Cat out of the picture, we fight Rhino on our own, and his boss fight is really easy. All you need to do is just bait him into running into the wall and punch him, explosive barrels, or my favourite, these electrical conductors.
When I got to this boss fight, I would only try and take him down using those conductors. It was oddly satisfying watching him slowly be electrocuted until he just fell to the floor. Jesus, no wonder I'm so messed up.
I would probably put Rhino's boss fight in the D tier. Anyways, we defeat Rhino, Doc Ock helps the police, maybe he is reformed, and we change into our civvy clothes to find Black Cat, who is being wheeled away by whatever these things are.
Cat, it's Peter.
Peter, gotta help me. They're not really paramedics.
Well, that just confirms it. These guys are probably some aliens or monsters in disguise. We gotta take them out, right, Spider-Man? Let's go save Black Cat and go find Mary Jane and be... Wait, you're just gonna let them take her? Really? You know, I don't think you're the real Spider-Man. After we let Black Cat get kidnapped, we have a quick talk with the Human Torch, who motivates us to go rescue Mary Jane, find Venom, and put a stop to his...
There he is.
Venom baits us into chasing him, and we have to keep up, or it's game over. After chasing him over rooftops, through a building, then out of the building... Alright, that was weird. And some more rooftops, we finally catch up to him, where he offers to fight us. He jumps through a billboard, Looney Tunes style, and we follow him.
Venom's fight is actually really tough. Out of all of the boss fights in this game, this is the one that I struggle with the most.
Venom can disappear every so often, and you have to find him before he chases after you like a predator. He has quite a lot of varied attacks too, ranging from grabbing you and giving you a lick, to pulling you in from a wall and whacking you, to even extending his arm, grabbing your head and shaking it around. Yeah, I'm a bit confused with that one. I do think that sometimes his attacks can go into bullshit territory. Like, you can only get about 2 hits in before he whacks you and takes out a big chunk of your health. His attacks aren't really telegraphed well and can leave you feeling like they're nothing more than cheap shots. It only just slightly verged on unfair, but I mean, I was playing on normal, not kid mode. Definitely an A-tier boss fight. We finally get the better of Venom and he retreats into the sewers. The next couple of missions are dedicated to following Venom in the sewers, fighting some lizard minions, and solving some puzzles. I don't like these levels. The sewers section perfectly highlights all of the game's flaws, whilst also being so incredibly frustrating and needlessly drawn out. Firstly, you've got the lizard minions. Unlike the enemies you fought until now, these guys will travel in packs and try and swarm you from all sides. Their attacks range from slashes to giving you hugs, to annoying projectile attacks which can actually stun lock you if you're not careful. And whilst we're on the topic of that projectile attack, I hate it. If you're far away from the lizard minions, they'll start spitting what I'm assuming is acid at you over and over again. The only way to get them to stop this is to get closer to them, but you have no way to avoid their projectiles. So you'll quickly find that you'll move closer to the enemy, get hit, move a little closer, get hit again, and repeat until they stop. It's a tedious process. It's even worse when you fight them in narrow corridors, and you're constantly fighting against a goddamn camera just to see where they're coming from. The levels are also littered with instant game overs. Spider-Man can drown if he dips just his toe in the water. Touch it and you're dead. Sometimes you won't even expect it. An area that had absolutely no water now all of a sudden has a running river flowing through it. There's no way to detect this change, no spider sense or anything. I found that I was constantly on edge throughout these levels, and not in a good way. And I think the level that shows this the best is the fucking train level. Unlimited supply of enemies with frustrating ranged attacks? Check. Bullshit instant game over screens? Check. Constantly fighting the controls so you don't fall off and can actually target the enemies with your web attacks? Check, check, fucking check. But you know what? There are actually a lot of things to really love about the sewer levels, and the best example is definitely the final level in the tunnel maze. You've got to crawl along the ceiling and find the right way to Venom's lair, whilst watching out for deadly machinery.
What the hell was that?
And even Venom himself. He proper messes with you in this level too. His booming voice speaks out to you unexpectedly, he can show up when you least expect it, or my personal favourite, that is amazing.
Hey, Insomniac Games, this is how you do Venom properly. Perhaps you should have taken some notes.
And there's also some nice hidden secrets too, like a cameo from the lizard, who ends up giving you directions to the end of the level.
Go back along this tunnel and cross over 2 waterways. At the 3rd waterway, go
Alright, you gotta write all that down because I'm not gonna remember any of it, but here we go.
And hey, have another fun development fact. Lizard was supposed to get a boss fight in this game. He was even supposed to show up in the last cutscene. Look, there he is in the storyboards.
Want a break from the ads?
After trying to remember where Lizard told me to go and failing 30 seconds later, we end the level and finally find Mary J. Jesus Christ, not her too. What is it with the women in this game looking like white Michael Jackson? Anyways, we enter our second fight with Venom, and I think this one is less difficult than the first. After the first fight, you kind of get an idea as to what his attacks are like and can easily determine what you need to do to beat him. However, there is the added pressure of Mary Jane drowning, and you've got to stop the water by pressing the levers, so things are still tense. I think I prefer this one over the first, I'm not too sure, they're both equally decent. A tier again. We managed to beat Venom for the last time and knock some sense into him about our innocence. Venom agrees and becomes our partner to help us track down the real culprit. After a brief discussion, Spider-Man decides the best thing to do is to head to the Daily Bugle to get some more information. And it's here where we get the best Venom scene in the entire game.
Here it is, the records room.
Surf the web, surf the web.
Shut up, Brock, we don't have time.
Parker, wait, could it be?
Could what?
Yes, we sense our other.
Who? Since who?
It's our honor. The symbiote known as Carnage. We must stop him.
Now?
Yes, now. We have no choice.
I have no words. That is just pure art right there. After Venom dips, our spider sense goes off and we're introduced to the last enemy type in the game, Symbiotes.
These fucking things. You thought the lizard minions were terrible enemies to fight? Let me introduce you to these annoying bastards.
The symbiotes are not only challenging, but frustratingly tedious to take out. Firstly, they're so spongy. Web attacks are pretty much useless against them. That helpful web ball and web dome you've been using? Nah, forget about them. Web glove and go to town. Except you'll only be able to get about 2 hits in before they start pummeling you. Their projectile attack is so damn quick too. At least the lizard minions had a little bit of a break between their animations. This just feels like they've got a gun on standby. It gets even worse when we head down into the basement and find these symbiote generators. These machines will endlessly respawn symbiotes for you to fight, and you'll have to destroy them before a new one is made. The thing is that there's always one guarding the generator, so naturally you attack it again and again until it's finally turned into jelly. Then you turn your attention to the generator when all of a sudden...
Excuse me, what the actual fuck?
The game does give you an advantage later with this fire webbing, but it's very far and few between, and it's all gone after firing 2 web balls. Nice thought though, I'll give you points for that. Also, here is what the symbiotes look like during development.
Oh my god! What is that?
Back to the game, we fight our way through the office, save some civilians, head down to the Bugle's basement, trudge through a painful elevator level, take out some generators, and finally catch up to the imposter. And it's finally revealed that the imposter was none other than Mysterio, and I couldn't be happier that he's here.
For me, Mysterio is my favourite Spider-Man villain, and I don't even know what it is about him. He's always stuck with me. Maybe it's his goofy design, maybe it's his showmanship attitude, or maybe it's the fact he's an actual menace in the comics.
You know the Old Man Logan comic? The inspiration for one of the greatest comic book movies of all time? Well, he caused Wolverine to kill all of the X-Men in that story. Yeah, Mysterio did. Look it up, it's shocking. However, I think it's largely to do with his video game appearances. Out of all of Spider-Man's villains, he's the one that has appeared in the most video games. From his otherworldly appearance in the Spider-Man 2 movie game, to the main villain of Shattered Dimensions, and even the most recent Insomniac game. And now he's in the PS1 game with, in my opinion, the best boss fight in the entire game. The fight basically boils down to you jumping up and down the floors to fire your web balls at the conduits on his body, whilst also dodging traps and Mysterio's attacks. Sounds easy enough. Why is this the best fight, you may be asking? One word: spectacle. Mysterio is a character that is all about spectacle, and his boss fight shows that off in spades. You've got him in the middle, huge and looming, his different attacks that constantly keep you on your toes, the corny dialogue from Spider-Man and Mysterio.
Who mixes green and purple? I don't get it. Oh, careful now! After I take you.
And the music.
Oh my god, this boss theme is amazing. Just listen to it.
It makes the fight what it is, and without the music, I don't think I'd be gushing over it as much as I am. Once all the conduits have been hit, you enter the second phase. He'll fire lasers from his yellow eye things, and then after that you've got to hit his fishbowl to finish him off. I will admit that these lasers do almost ruin the fight and can lead to some bullshit moments. There isn't any real way to telegraph which direction these lasers are coming from, and sometimes he can replay the same animation 3 times in a row and stun lock you, landing a cheap kill. I found the best way to overcome this was jumping in the middle and see how many hits you can get in before his animation starts from the beginning. It worked for me.
And if you thought that the music was badass in the first part, it gets even better.
You know, I've just realised I've not even talked about the music yet. The music in Spider-Man PS1 was composed by Tommy Tallarico, and is a combination of indie rock with a bit of synth and metal thrown in for good measure. Each track is different from each other and reflects what you're experiencing in the game. Some are mysterious, some are scary, but a lot of them are loud and bombastic with the guitar going wild. This soundtrack is one of the rare breeds that sticks with you for a very long time.
I always have a hard time picking my favourites, there's just so many bangers to choose from, so I'm just going to list a few that I like the most. Here, take a listen. And of course, there's Mysterio's theme. I'm just going to play it one more time, it's too good. Mysterio's fight is easily an S ranking, no questions asked. Speaking of Mysterio, after finally beating him, we interrogate him for some information. He tells us to head over to a warehouse on the waterfront and we thank him for his help. We reach the warehouse and find more symbiote generators inside. Hooray. We take him out, find an entrance to an underground complex and jump down. After we reach the bottom, we find ourselves in an underwater facility that has electrified floors and walls and laser turrets. This is some Umbrella Corporation shit right here. We make our way past them and eventually find ourselves at the source of the fog. After doing some exploring and trying to get the Spidey armor but failing miserably because of the fucking symbiotes shooting their sticky stuff at me, we bump into Black Cat in all of her plastic surgery glory. Black Cat tells us to overload the fog to shut down the security system. We finally get the Spidey armor, we do as we're told, and it works. Black Cat goes to get some help whilst we head further in to confront the final boss. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the mastermind behind this insidious plot to frame Spider-Man and unleash the symbiotes upon the world is finally unmasked. It's, Dr. Octopus. Oh hey, look, Carnage is here. Venom drops in to lend us a hand and takes Carnage away for a little chat, leaving us to take on Doc Ock. Doc Ock's fight is alright. It's just okay. All you have to do is just keep running in the circle and wait for these switches to drop down. Hit all 4, get in there and punch him. Do this 3 times, you're done. Barriers do drop down after every switch is hit, which you'll have to jump over, but they're not that much of a hindrance, unless you get stuck on one. Doc Ock's fight is a C tier for sure. With Doc Ock easily defeated, we're next probably going to help Venom fight Carnage.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
With Venom down, Carnage drags us up for some one-on-one time. Unlike all the other bosses, you can't damage Carnage with any of your standard attacks. Webs, punches, kicks, they barely even tickle him. What you have to do instead is force him into this sound bubble that slowly chips away at his health. It's a bit awkward to get him into this bubble, and you have to properly line him up, but even when you think you've got him perfectly aligned, he just gets pushed over to the side. When you do manage to get him into the bubble, it's fairly easy to keep him there. It actually becomes a bit funny with how easy it is. This should be an A tier, but considering how easy it can be, it's gonna have to go in the C tier. With Carnage down, the symbiote slides off of him, and that's it. We've beaten the bad guys, stopped the symbiote invasion, and are ready to go home.
What's up? Is that Hawk?
Oh no. I forgot about him. This is Monster Rock, basically the Carnage symbiote on Dr. Octopus. He's a grotesque, creepy monster that makes some really disturbing sounds. Like, really disturbing.
scary.
Before we even have time to react, the facility starts to self-destruct, so we make a run for it, with Monster Rock hot on our tail. Wait, hang on a second. Where's Venom? Did he escape whilst we were fighting Carnage? And what about Cletus Cassidy? Are we not taking him with us? Alright pal, jig's up. I know that you're not the real Spider-Man. What have you done with him? Tell me! So we make a break for it whilst Monster Rock chases us down, and after fighting with the controls yet again and dying a few times... Jesus, that's dark. I guess you could technically count this as a boss fight, so we'll go for A tier for this one. After running for what feels like a lifetime, we finally reach the end of the level. Monster Rock is subdued, we carry Ock out of the facility, and in a nick of time, Venom, Black Cat and Captain America comes to our rescue. Good to know Venom got out. Shame about Carnage though. Oh well, 1 out of 2 villains isn't bad, right Spider-Man? The final cutscene shows both our heroes and villains playing a game of Go Fish. By the way, whoever thought of this picture is a genius and I'd love to shake your hand. Before fading to black with the ominous title, The End.
Question mark?
And that was the story of Spider-Man PS1. It was a fun time, albeit a bit frustrating in some areas. So, I guess we're done here, right? Well, not quite. There is still a few things left to do. Firstly, in true Spider-Man game fashion, there are unlockable suits. A few recognisable ones like the Black Suit or Spider-Man 2099, but there's a few you probably don't know like Captain Universe and Spider-Man Unlimited from the short-lived animated show. What's cool about these is that they're not just cosmetics, they actually have special abilities like unlimited webbing or invisibility. But some like the bombastic Bagman actually have drawbacks like only being able to carry 2 web cartridges instead of the standard 10. They're there for those who are looking for more of a challenge. These can be unlocked by completing the game on harder difficulties, collecting all the game's comic book covers, or getting high scores in the challenge modes. Challenge modes offer time trials, item collection, and waves of enemies to fight. Oh wait, I'm sorry, kill. Spider-Man be out here taking names. Some of these even have secret areas like this Kraven the Hunter lair. Hey look, a new suit unlocked. Then finally, you have the infamous What If mode, an alternative playthrough of the game where different things can happen throughout. It's still the same story, but there's just a few new things sprinkled throughout, such as cameos, funny lines,
Marco.
Fish out of water.
I am under the water.
an LSD trip during Doc Ock's boss fight, and Carnage having a child's voice, which is strangely creepier. Playing this game made me feel like a kid all over again, and I love it for that. It will always hold such a special place in my heart, and is the reason why I'm such a big Spider-Man fan. However, just taking the nostalgia goggles off for a second, I don't really think this has aged that well. The controls are stiff and you constantly struggle with them. Some of the enemies are so frustrating to fight, and the camera is repeatedly beating you every time you make a turn. But I don't think that detracts from the game's appeal and charm. There's a reason why there are so many hardcore fans who create videos on YouTube, meme the shit out of it, mod the game with new skins and features, or dive into the development history and talk to those who crafted the experience. There are flaws with it for sure, and after playing it I can definitely see the cracks. But it doesn't matter to me. I will always love this game. It holds a special place in my heart and makes me think back to my childhood. Back when times were much, much simpler. And when Spider-Man PS1 was released, it was a massive hit with great critical reception and a whopping
unknown amount of copies sold.
So, with all that positive press and money stuffed into their fat pockets, Activision naturally greenlit a sequel.
Wasn't as good.
Tune in next time, true believers.
Just another day in the life of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I'm already at full health.